Today, I am honored to welcome a guitarist who didn't just step into one of the most iconic roles in heavy metal, he redefined it. Richie Faulkner has brought new fire, new vision, and a warrior spirit to Judas Priest, carrying the legacy forward while carving out his own. Richie, it's a pleasure to have you with us today.
You're very kind, man, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, we got a lot to cover in a short amount of time. First of all, okay, the best of Judas Priest. The album is going to be released, I believe, June 19th.
Yes, indeed. And we know exactly what to expect. The best of Judas Priest. We've probably got our own compilations in our own heads.
Right.
The beautiful thing about Priest, they've carved out, more than 50 years worth of, metal history. You know what I mean? So your best of could be different to my best of, could be different to another fan's best of. It's amazing when we put set lists together. We've got these set lists we've got ideas of, and they're all different, and we come together and put the set list that it becomes. But we're all fans of the band as well. You know what I mean? Me, Rob, Ian, Scott, Glenn, we're all
Right.
fans of the band. We've all got our favorites, and it's great, putting out a best of Priest compilation, because we're all fans of the band as well, I think.
Plus, you had a documentary that came out, which is the 50-year legacy, uh, The Ballad of Judas Priest. Talk about that. How's that doing?
Well, I don't think it's out on general release yet. I think
Oh, it's not out yet. Oh,
no, I
man.
think that we're still they're still going. It's going around to different what do you call it, like viewings and stuff like that. It hasn't actually been
Right.
picked up by a major outlet yet. But everyone that sees it, they love it, and I've seen it. We saw the early screenings. When you go in and you watch like the first draft,
Right.
and to me it was amazing. There's always changes to be made. Like everyone's got their own input and stuff. And it was great. It's got some great people in it. Obviously, banger films. They take care of that stuff beautifully. They're well known for doing that stuff really well. The Rush documentary, the Maiden one, and countless others. They've got a real authority on the subject, so they can be trusted with that sort of stuff. Tom Morello obviously does great with it, and the people in it. Some authority figures in there. Jack Black's in it, bringing an energy that only Jack Black can bring. So it's a great kind of journey through Priest's history and stuff that I didn't even know. Stuff like, when Ian Hill talks about starting off their first show in, I think it was Aston Working Man's Club,
Hmm.
he was actually there. In Birmingham, in Aston's Working Man's Club, and you could see the stage where they played and everything. So, we read about that stuff as fans, but to be actually there, seeing it was
Right.
a first for me. So it's a brilliant thing to watch and experience. So when it comes out on general release, I urge everyone to go watch it. Obviously, you get those documentaries as well. You might not be a fan of the band, but sometimes when you watch a documentary and hear the stories, you automatically kind of become more of a fan of the band. The
Right.
more you know about them. So yeah, it's fantastic, man. You should check it out.
Oh, bios and stories about bands and just people in general. I love it, man. You learn a lot from that, like you
You really
said.
do.
Yeah.
And you know what goes into. You might not know what went into. Can you imagine if you didn't know anything about Def Leppard,
Right.
and then you went in, and you heard a documentary about them. All the tribulations and trials that they went through, and what they've been through to get to where they're at now. Uh, you'd go out and buy a Def Leppard record, knowing what went into it. Now, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Just an example, but yeah, I mean we know Priest, we love Priest, and even to find out new stuff about them was a joy. And yeah, it's a fantastic piece of history.
I actually had Al Atkins on the show. It was the original singer, right, from way back, and he had some good stories from the very, very beginning.
I mean, I can imagine if you've got all those guys together. Can you imagine getting them together in like a pub or a bar, getting pints out to everyone and just listening to those stories? Some of the stuff that you can't put, or online or in a documentary. Some of the stuff that's too like R-rated. I bet they've got stories for days.
Oh
And
yeah.
they've known each other again for half a century, more than half a century. They put the band together, and then the band's been going for more than half a century. But I'm sure they've got great, great stories together, and that stuff, we need to know really. That stuff
Sure.
goes into bands and the brotherhoods and stuff that goes into making a band. It's not only the music, it's not only the miles that they travel, but it's the brotherhood between
Hmm.
them. And they carved that niche together. As you said, Al Atkins started it off with the band, and then Rob came in, and Glenn
Hmm.
came in, and there's been various um, variations in the band throughout history, and they've all added. Every musician has added its own, his or own part to that history, and it's a great, great story.
Now, is there a new Judas Priest album coming out? That's what I heard.
There is. There's no smoke without fire, so they say. But yeah, we got back from the Shield of Pain tour in
Right.
October. That was with Alice Cooper, the last run, and we had
Very
a
cool.
we had a group of songs that we were going to go into the studio and start recording. So we whittled that down. I think we usually start off with like 20, 25 ideas, which then gets, that's way too much. So then you kind of whittle that down to maybe 20, then to maybe 15. You combine some of them. Some of them just don't stand up. You get rid of
Right.
them or put them, in the later folder. So you end up with around 10 to 15 ideas that are solid, and then maybe you look to pick the best 10 out of that bunch for the record. That's usually what we try and do.
Hmm.
Funny enough, the last three records I've done with Priest, that's what we try and do, but we always end up with more. It's either 15
Sure.
or 18, but we try and get 10. 10 seems to be the golden number for a heavy metal record. They've always, in the past on a vinyl, you've got 9 or 10 tracks on there historically, and that seems to be a good length. That's what she said. So yeah, that's what we normally do. So we've got
Good
a
one.
few too many, we've got a few too many at the moment, but we've recorded them, and as I said, we whittled them down to maybe the 10 or 11 that we end up with. And we went in the whole month of February. We got the drums, bass, guitar down. I've
Hmm.
done most of the guitar solos. We were over in Phoenix with Rob. We started the vocals. So we've got a European tour coming up
Yep.
next month,
Yep.
and then after that, hopefully we will complete the recording after that, and then looking like sometime next year. I don't want to put a date
Next
on it
year.
or anything like that, but
Yeah.
it should be sometime next year if everything goes well.
You have a title yet, or is it too early?
We've had a few kicking around,
Yeah.
um, but nothing definitive.
Right.
Sometimes those things. I remember Invincible Shield was one that came up quite early in the process from Rob. It was quite a strong thing, and it kind of survived the whole recording process. Some things come on early, and then other things pop forward, and you go with them instead. But nothing seems to have stuck so far. Um, so we'll see that. Usually something pops out, and it's undeniable. That's it. And it sums up the recording process, the messages in the record, or whatever it might be. So we'll see what that turns out to be. It's exciting, really.
Well, the tour starts, I believe, July 25th, and in Germany, correct?
Yes, it does.
And
Yeah,
like you said, you got a long European tour, and I believe it ends in England, in London. I think the 21st, September 21st.
you're absolutely right. Yeah, we start in Germany,
Hmm.
go all the way through Europe again, and then end in London. It's Hammersmith. The last year we played the O2, which
Right.
is a big old venue in London, and the year before that we've done a few shows in the UK, and we played Wembley Arena. So it would be nice to get back to Hammersmith, a nice kind of smaller, more intimate vibe to tie up the tour. We like that experience as well. And so it was a good balance this year. As I said, we
Hmm.
got off the road last year. We've had some time off. We've put the foundations down to a new record, which hopefully will come out next year.
Yep.
European tour, and then into 27 with the new record. So it's a good plan, really. We've had some time at home, good work life, work home balance or whatever you want to call it. So it's good. We're looking forward to getting out on the road and a new record next year. Again, I keep saying it. More than 50 years Priest has been around. You're talking
It's
about
amazing.
the documentary. More than 50 years and still touring, still putting out new records. When I joined the band, it was a farewell tour. They lied to me, bro. You know what I mean? I thought it
They
was only
all
going to be,
do.
you know. But again, new tour, new album. The world is a better place with Priest in it, and long may it continue. I say.
How's Rob doing? Is he, I know sometimes he walks on with a cane. He's getting older, of course. How's he doing?
I
How's
think
physically?
that's all dramatics. I
Is
think
it dramatic?
because after two songs he puts that cane away and he's running around like a madman,
Right.
prowling the stage like he does.
On the
Um,
motorcycle?
exactly. I think yeah, the cane doesn't last that long. I think it's all for dramatic emphasis. I think because he's a I say it all the time. Rob's not just a singer. He's
Right.
a performer. He connects the listener with the song, with the band,
Mhm.
and he really performs those songs. So coming out with a cane is really dramatic, and that's the way he's always been, and that's the Halford we love. And then by
Sure.
the end of it, he's pirouetting round to Living After Midnight and dancing around. He's one of the greats. There's not many like him, and we're grateful to have someone like that on planet Earth still doing that, like all the masters. So yeah, he's in good spirits. He's sounding
Good.
great, on this the latest album so far, and he always sounds great on the road. And we always get that kind of reaction. How is a guy of 74, 75 years old sounding this great? We don't know. I tried to see what the secret is. I followed him round numerous times trying to see what he does before he goes on. He has a cup of tea,
Hmm.
which I think has got some kind of magic potion in it. And then he goes on and he just knocks it out the park. There's no tricks. Uh, there's no secrets. He knows how to pace himself. I think after 50 years, he's just a seasoned professional. And that's what he does. He's amazing.
Well, for a rocker in his 70s, that's kind of young today, in today's standards, right? With Rolling Stones and McCartney and Ringo and, these guys, gosh.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, it's a good point. He's got a long
Yeah,
way to go, really. He's
he
a he's a
does.
he's a spring chicken compared with some people. Yeah, so he's
Exactly.
absolutely, mate. He
Uh,
does great, Rob.
Good, good, good. I got to tell you, man, Elegant Weapons is a great band. Evolution, the new release, I loved it. Um, you want to see here? I got a very, very short review. Let me see if you like
Shit
this.
sandwich.
Well, you're close. Okay. People that say rock is dead, go listen to Elegant Weapons Evolution and go fuck yourself. How's that? 5 stars.
I love it. I loved it. I think that should be the quote of the album. You know what? It's people say a lot of things. You know what I mean? Um, we make music that we like to make. It's the same in Priest.
Yeah,
Um, I, you know, I speak for myself. I feel lucky enough. I think everyone's lucky to make music that we like outside of our other bands.
right.
There's Priest, Accept, Uriah Heep. Ronnie's doing a lot of other things too.
Hmm.
We're lucky, really, to be able to make this music and put it out and get reactions from people. If people don't like it, that's fine. If people like it, that's fine too. We make music we like, and if there's an audience there, that's great. And that's just we can't ask for more than that, really. And when someone comes up to you in the pub or in the club or whatever and said, "Dude, I love the new album," that's
Great.
fantastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So and young people too. Young people love the new stuff, the new Priest stuff, the new Weapon stuff. And you don't stop. You do what you do. You put it out.
right.
If that's just what you do. For the love of doing it. No one's reinventing the wheel or anything with Weapons. We're just doing music we love, and hopefully people love it and they put it on in the car or on the way to school or whatever they do, and it becomes part of someone's day. That's all we can ask for, really.
Nobody does better intro guitar riffs than you. I mean, every intro is explosive. It's great, and they all sound different.
I appreciate it, man. I mean, I've got a lot to live up to. I was out in the car on Saturday, and
Hmm.
I had 5150 on in the car, and I had the windows down, and it's a bit of a sports car. So it was just one of those moments where the sun was shining, the windows were down. I had 5150 in the car, and it just reminds you, you've got a lot to live up to.
Hmm.
That was the standard, and that was back then.
Right.
So that raised the bar for everybody, and you just got to, it reminds you, you just got to keep doing your best, keep trying to raise your own bar. And whatever band whatever, if it's Priest or if it's Weapons, whatever you do, you've got to give 1,000%,
That's right.
and that sort of stuff inspires me and millions of people still, not just Eddie and Van Halen, but the countless others. You put it on, as I said, the CD player, whatever it might be, and it still inspires and gives you a kick up the backside to do the best you can do. And that's where it all comes from.
I want to mention some of the tracks that I loved. First of all, Generation Me, very cool riffs. Get lead guitar, a little bit of Sabbath I hear in that kind of a heavy, dark opening, which I loved. Great track. High Roller's awesome. It had kind of a Bridge of Sighs opening, you know?
For sure. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
all that stuff. All that
yeah,
stuff. I think the DNA of the band. I mean, again, speak for myself as a guitar player. I've always worn my influences on my sleeve. There's no
hmm
secret. It's Sabbath,
sure.
and it's all those guys. And I think if I purposely shied away from that, it would be contrived. It wouldn't be natural. And that's what comes out. And it's Hendrix and Sabbath and
Right.
even like Black Label and Maiden. There's Priest in there, and there's all sorts in there. Even Alice in Chains and stuff like that. That's who it is. That's who your DNA is. That's what the musical DNA is. And I think to ignore it would be silly. Really, that's who it is.
I hear a little bit of prog. You'd be a good prog artist as well if you put out a prog album. Come Back to Me sounded a little proggy to me, and so did The Devil Calls.
There's little bits in there. There's little
Just a
bits
little
and
bit in
pieces
there.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think not too much. It's not like it's not Rush. It's
Right.
not over the top kind of time signatures and stuff. But maybe there's a few twists and turns in a few places. Any more than that, and I can only just about count to 10. You know what I mean? So any more than that, and I lose myself. But little things here and there just to keep it interesting, I think. And yeah, it seems to work well. I appreciate you bringing that up.
Great title, Thrown to the Wolves.
Oh yeah, I
Great
mean,
intro. That's another great track. How long did it take you to make this album? It sounded like it was, very precise, great engineering, great production work. Who produced this?
well, we were lucky enough to have Andy Sneap produce again, like on the first record. I spent a lot of time with Andy Sneap on the road. Obviously, he's
Good.
live guitar player because Glenn Tipton can't do it anymore, the
Right.
live stuff. So I spent a lot of time with Andy. So he was a natural choice to do it, really. And he's great at what he does. It goes without saying. But as far as putting it together, the tracks were recorded. We recorded the drums before the first record came out. Um, for some reason I had the songs ready to go. And then since that was 2023 when the first record came out, and then obviously we went on tour 24, 25 with Priest. This was a window of opportunity. I had to release it. So they usually it's around. So the stuff for the next record, next
hmm
reference record, will probably be kind of. I'll be starting to think about that now.
Right.
You know, next couple of years we'll probably be out touring with Priest on the new record cycle, and then after that, so we're talking what 28 maybe. That'll be when the next Weapons record. I guess that's the way it normally works. So you're always kind of thinking ahead, what's coming next down the road. So which is a great thing, a great kind of cycle to be on. And as I said before, a fortunate. I'm grateful to be thinking about that stuff. It's just a pleasure to be thinking about. Okay, this year album with Priest, European tour, next year tour with Priest, and in those little gaps you get between tours, hopefully there's some new Weapons music being constructed as well. I mean, who could ask for more than that?
These times are so different from the past. I grew up in the 60s listening to those kinds of bands, and you stuck with one band. You never thought about being in three different bands. Who would have time for that? But today, most artists are. They're in two or three different bands.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to just be in one band as well. I mean,
hmm
um, part of the reason for putting Elegant Weapons together, as I said before, I got into Priest on the farewell tour, and I remember having conversations with Glenn
hmm
about the fact that they're not going to be around forever. So
Right.
I had to think of what I was going to do after. So
Sure.
I put Weapons together and we're all in different bands. So maybe one day we can take this band forward when those bands retire. That was kind of the idea behind it. So maybe one day we will all be in one band and have the same schedule and everything like that. That maybe that's the dream, being one band like the Priest guys are, like they
Hmm.
are in the documentary. They crafted that thing from the ground up, and they were in that band for the rest of their life. That's the dream, really. So maybe hopefully that will be the same with Weapons one day.
It's a great band, man. I really love it. And do you expect a tour, or is that something it's going to be tough to do with Judas Priest?
Well, yeah, yes to both questions. We hope to tour,
Yeah,
um, and again, we've got to fit it around the other bands,
right.
and everyone's schedule. Everyone's out with different bands. We've got to, but we knew that was the challenge going into this.
Sure.
But that just means we've got to work a little bit harder, fitting it around everyone's schedule. We're looking at later on in the year. Obviously, we get done with Priest this year, end of
Hmm.
September. Maybe something early November. We can do some bits and pieces. Maybe in the States or Europe. We're
Oh,
not sure
good.
yet, but hopefully, if we can get some stuff confirmed, we'll let everyone know on the socials and websites and all the stuff like that where we're normally found. So yeah, watch this space. As soon as we get stuff confirmed, it will be up there.
That'll be awesome. Great
Yeah, we're
band,
looking forward
man.
to it. I mean, I think every
Yeah,
band lives to play live.
sure.
That's where you make a connection with new fans. I mean, how many times have you stumbled across a new band? You're at a festival, you're walking to see a
Right.
band that you want to see, and there's another band playing. You say, hold on a minute, who's
That's
this?
right.
This is really great. And all of a sudden, you're a fan for life. And that's with rock and metal, I think, when you're a fan for life. I think those relationships last forever. So it's really valuable, I think, to get out there and play. So yeah, hopefully towards the end of the year, that's what we're
Good.
going to be doing.
Well, Evolution's going to be played great live. I'd love to hear that whole album live. It'd be
I
wonderful.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
I think everyone will tell you when they're putting down stuff in the studio. If you always think, what's this going to sound like live? You're always thinking, like we said, forward. You're always thinking, what's this going to feel like live?
right.
Because everyone's thinking that's the energy you want. You want this to be a great kind of feeling when you play it live. That's what it's all about. So yeah, we're looking forward to playing those riffs for the first time to people and seeing the reaction.
Well, the album sounds live. It's not live, but it sounds live to me. It's got
But
that
that's
energy, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's a testament to the great production. Andy
Yeah,
Sneap made everything
exactly.
sound cohesive and live, and the
Yep,
drum tracks too. We played together we captured the drum tracks together in the same studio. We got together bass, drums, guitar,
right.
so all that kind of spontaneity on the drums is captured. So if I did something or Davey did something, Christopher would react and vice versa. So we got those spontaneous performances on the drums, which you can then build on with everything else. I think that's vital, really. We did the same thing on Firepower with Priest. Uh, Invincible Shield was different. COVID, and post-COVID,
Right.
we had to do it, as and when we could. But I think getting those at least drum tracks together where everyone's playing, you could then put the guitars on later, redo the bass, whatever you need to do. But you play them together, you get that live feel. We are
Hmm.
just talking about. You're playing together, you get a feel for it, and you can feel better what it's going to be like later on, and you capture that energy, and then you're in a good place, I think, to put everything
Exactly.
else on top of it.
Well, Richie, Chipster PR gave me only 30 minutes. I normally go an hour, but they only gave me 30 minutes this time. So here's your last question.
All right.
One of my favorite movies has been Field of Dreams. So I always ask everybody the same question. I get some very interesting answers. If you had a Field of Dreams wish and you could collaborate or perform with anybody living or gone, who would that be?
I mean, the immediate answer is usually the right one. It's Hendrix. You
Hendrix.
know,
Yep.
without a doubt. I mean, not only, total game changer. When we talk about it all the time, and I mean, I talk about it all the time. Can you imagine 1967? Let's say you're in London and you're at a small club, no bigger than your living room,
Hmm.
and there's a couple of full Marshall stacks on the stage, which you've probably never seen before, and someone comes out looking like that, playing like that, at that volume.
Yep.
It must have been. I mean, I don't know if you can see that. I mean, you know, just talking about as a human being experiencing something like that must have been otherworldly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I really mean it. Like, I don't know how the human body would have reacted to that. Like, you know, the way like girls were fainting when they saw Elvis. That's
Right.
their body just shut down.
Yeah.
It must have been the same thing. Like, you know, not just the playing of the guy, but just the way he looked, the way he performed, the way it's. I mean, and just where it was in history. Nothing was like that before, and has ever really been since. And everyone, you know, everyone's tried to reach that pinnacle. Same thing probably with Eddie as well. You know,
Hmm.
in a different way, but in the same kind of way in other ways. But Hendrix coming out like that in the '60s must have just. I don't. I can't even. You know, I can't even imagine. So I'd have to say Hendrix, and I'd have to, you know, because, and I'd like to recreate that situation. A little club, dark club, smoky, you know,
Hmm.
dim
Hmm.
lights, couple of Marshall stacks, and have him coming out ripping to like "Rock Me Baby" or something, or like "Killing Floor" or something, just taking everyone's heads off and changing the world, you know, forever. I'd love something like that, you know, because it must have been and was obviously game changing. So yeah, it has to be Hendrix.
Wasn't the girls fainting? It was other guitar players fainting when they saw Hendrix on stage.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. You know,
Yeah.
you hear like Pete Townsend saying, you know, that they're going to have to. What are they going to do now? You know, it's
Exactly.
over. You know,
It's over, right?
if someone's just come along and just turned everything else upside down.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, what an incredible experience that must have been for everyone at the time. I mean, I can't even imagine. So
I had
yeah,
that reaction. I got to hang out with Alvin Lee at a
oh
small
wow,
club. He
unbelievable.
even played my guitar. But
Oh
to
really?
see him live, he had
Yeah,
Ansley Dunbar as the drummer. Eric Burden was there. It was a really cool night.
incredible.
But
And
what a
again,
great guitar player.
live. You know, we're
Yeah,
talking about
live.
live. You
Yep,
know, not on YouTube, not on
exactly.
there
Yeah.
in the room, experiencing the whole thing. That's what it's
Hmm.
about, and still is. Fortunately, I mean, fortunately that no one's figured out a way, to recreate that experience, and I
Nope.
don't think you can. You know, I don't think. Hopefully, you never will. So that's what it's about: live stuff and live experience in both in the audience and as a band as well. There's nothing
Yep.
like it. You know, so
Nope.
yeah, long may that continue, man.
We all got to see Richie live though.
Oh yeah, I'm just up there, dancing about like a Wally from England, but I'm doing my best not to get anything thrown at me, but I'm doing all right at the moment.
I
I
do want to
appreciate it.
say thank you to Chipster PR. I've known those guys for years and years. They've been awesome for
Tips the
arranging this
best.
interview today. They're good
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Um, you can purchase the best of Judas Priest very soon, coming out very very soon. The new album by Elegant Weapons entitled Evolution. I believe that's coming out. That is out. It's already
There you
out.
go. Yep,
Yeah,
you can go and get that now. I think the vinyl's coming out soon as well.
good. That's a great album. 5 stars all the way.
Thank you, brother.
Look at all the websites on Facebook. You guys are everywhere. Elegant Weapons have their own website. You're on Instagram, everywhere. So I just want to say thank you, man, for being on the show today. It's been a real pleasure. Good luck on the tour. Have a lot of fun.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me. A real pleasure, man, and thanks for the support.
And I can't wait to see you in the States one day soon, especially with your band.
Thank you, brother. We look forward to it. Hopefully, see you soon as well.
Okay, man. Take care.
Take care, man. Bye bye now.
Bye bye.